What's going on, everybody? I'm Chris Carrara here, and welcome to the Everyday Athlete Podcast. I'm very excited to get this podcast started, episode 1 right here. And we are joined today by there's just so many adjectives I can use, but we'll stick with the lovely, the amazing, the talented Izzy Ingersoll.
That was nice. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Thanks for being here.
That was a good intro.
You know,
good intro.
we persevered. It is what it is sometimes, you know. Episode 1, got to get through it. Well, we're here. Look at us. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
Better get those giggles out
shirt.
now. So I will digress by saying
you didn't
that
want to twin with me.
we showed up wearing the same sweater.
Good crew neck.
So I had
It's not a
to
sweater, it's a
adjust. So
crew
we're kind of it's around the similar idea, but it's nothing.
No.
It's nothing crazy here.
No.
So, the Everyday Athlete Podcast. What this podcast really is about is talking about our experiences through sport, out of sport, and how they kind of combine with each other. So I couldn't have had a better person on than Izzy here. So I've known, like, a little backstory for you guys. I've known Izzy how many years now?
5, 6, 6, 7.
All right, I knew that was coming.
Add to that.
About
I don't know, since my freshman year of high school.
freshman year of high school, so about
I'm a sophomore
getting
in
close to 8
college.
years now, so ish 7, 8
Yeah,
years, getting
yeah.
close there. I don't want to give you the pleasure of saying, but you know, so quite a while now. Honestly has one of the most amazing, not even stories about how she's gotten here and gotten to this point. So I'll kind of start right now, and there's only so many questions asked here, but just tell us a little about yourself right now. What are you doing? What's going on in your life? Let's hear it all out.
Well, I play softball to start. I play college softball, Division 2 at Southern Connecticut State University. I'm the shortstop. Started year 1, got Rookie of the Year because I knew you were going to say it.
Ooh, Rookie of the Year.
I led the conference with, like, hits and all that jazz. I coach with Chris over here, 14U now. Like, we coached 12U together, softball. Then we went up to 14U. And my old program that I played travel softball at, now I coach. So, yeah. What else? What else do you need to know?
There's just so much. Connecticut Impact is where we coach softball, what you just said. She played there. I recently started coaching there this year. It was quite a bigger decision, but there's no one else I really would have switched a program to coach with other than Izzy, to be completely honest with you guys. More than just a friend for me. Way more than that. We're like this,
Wow,
you know?
We are.
We're just
We are
like this.
indeed.
This is my guy through and through. So through playing softball, we'll go back a little bit to your junior year of high school, about the fall time. You had a big thing happen in your life. Some like, look at it as an unfortunate thing, obviously, but you always find a way to spin stuff and to make it motivational or something like that. So why don't you tell us a little bit?
Which one are we talking? What are we
Oh yeah,
talking
there's a
about?
lot. The head thing. Talk about the head
okay.
thing.
So, yeah, in my high school years, well, actually before that, when growing up, I always had migraines. They progressively started getting worse and worse. I would get sick a lot. And then my junior year of high school, I was starting volleyball because I played volleyball in high school as well. I was starting volleyball, and I noticed that my legs were getting numb. And it started off with, like, I just thought, like, I was on the road a lot because for Impact we traveled, and I would drive everywhere. I drove to Colorado that year, drove a lot of places, and
Drove to Colorado on her own, may I add.
yeah,
I
anything
can
to
barely
play.
drive to Milford on my own, but continue.
Yeah, so I was driving around a lot. I was moving a lot, like, for softball. Like, I was in a new state every like couple of days, and even when I was home, we would actually go to the field. Like, I remember getting home from Georgia at like 2 a.m. and begging Chris to like come to the field with me.
This human right here, right, would hold me not hostage, because I enjoy it as much as you
like
do.
doing it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
know.
You're miserable.
Like, not joking. Probably like some days were like 3.5 hours just hitting, fielding, doing all that jazz. But it was fun.
But I was doing a lot. I was doing a lot, and then volleyball was starting. So I just figured like, hey, I probably just need to like chill for a couple of days. The numbness, it was like numbness and like tingly. I felt like my legs were asleep almost. That started spreading. I didn't say anything to anybody because I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I was like, I'm fine. Like, I don't know. I'm never one to ask for help or act like anything's a big deal. I like to downplay a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it spread, and once it got to my face, I was like, oh no, I'm in for one right now. So I then like told my dad, and we went to my doctors, and they didn't really know much about what to do. Went to Yale. I was getting to see my doctors, and then eventually like I ended up in the hospital a few times. I would go to the ER a lot because I would get these episodes of like having really bad headaches, and then like back and neck spasms. I wasn't able to move. I would get the numbness. I would just get like really sick with a lot of different symptoms, and they didn't really know what was going on. Ultimately, they tested me one night. I was there for so long. I remember I got an MRI, and they were like, we think you have a brain malformation. So I got tested for that, and I got diagnosed with that. It's called Chiari malformation. I still am kind of in the process of handling it. I've been on a bunch of different medications for it. That was kind of the start my junior year. I then got like a sleep study done because they
all the sicky stuff on you, right?
What? Oh yeah. Yeah, all over me. It was so annoying. I had to sleep. It was actually in Bridgeport. It was which is awesome.
Shout out.
But so I got my sleep study done. They figured out that I have sleep apnea, I have restless leg syndrome, a couple other things that just were from my brain malformation. But the good thing was that it wasn't in my central brain or something crazy like that. I don't really remember the exact like thing, but I'm still in the process of dealing with that. But that was the beginning of that era.
So, being a collegiate athlete and dealing with that, and even to an extent worse, being a high school athlete, like kind of having to deal with that, like I kind of know, but like let's let the viewers in on how you really have come to deal with that, and how you've tried to not let it affect you.
Well, for one, I never really tell anybody when anything's happening, which I don't advise, but that's just always been my thing. Like, I remember last year, it was my first year in college, obviously, and I was kind of nervous with going on a plane because, like, with your head and stuff. And I did end up getting sick the first day and kind of the second day of Florida. We went to Florida for spring break, and first couple of days I was not feeling well, and nobody knew besides like my two friends that I told, but like nobody knew. My coach had no idea. And I eventually was better. I had to sleep a lot and eat a lot, drink a lot, but like with playing sports, it's hard because it's like, especially something like softball, like I had always felt like I can't not be playing, so it's hard for me to be like, I need a break. So, like, that already is out of the question. But with softball, it's a long game. And with college softball, it's a long 2 games because Division II plays double headers every single time we play. So, it was a lot. And even in high school, it was a lot because I was playing volleyball, I was doing travel softball. My coaches for travel, who we now coach with, they were always on me about it, and like they could tell. They always could tell.
You want to give them a quick shout out?
Craig and Mike, CTS.
Shout out.
Craig Thomas Sears.
Shout out.
and Mike, Santiago. Those are my legends. But yeah, they would always know, and I would always be traveling with them, my senior year especially. And yeah, they kind of it was hard for me to be like, I never really took breaks, but I would just always prepare myself for the worst of like, oh, I'm definitely gonna have a headache today, so I would bring medication, whatever I had. My medications were the worst at that point in my life, so it was hard for me to take them. But also, like, I remember last year, there were some days where I'm like playing catch at practice and I'm getting so frustrated because I like can't catch the ball because it's like my hand is not.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and like I was so annoyed.
That's one of my, not that specifically, but there's one time where I'm giving her soft toss in a cage, and just like takes a swing, like they're fine, whatever, it's going good. Then she starts just shaking the hands. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you shaking your hand? And this is like kind of before I really knew what was happening. Like, she's not one to tell.
No, I didn't tell anybody. And
yeah, I had no
downplay
idea.
everything.
Yeah, I had no idea. This one, keep shaking her hands. I'm like, dude, what are you doing here? And she's like, no, I'm fine. Shaking her hands. I'm like, dude, what's wrong? And like start bickering as one would. And then she finally tells me, I'm like, how are you even swinging right now? So like, that's the part I don't think a lot of people are able to like comprehend. Like, when your legs or your hands are going numb while you're in a game.
Yeah, it's scary.
On top of it being scary, how do you do what you do?
I don't know, just muscle memory. I do so much softball. I think it's just muscle memory. I remember being at the facility with you one day, and this was before anybody knew that I was getting numb, and I was like, that was like it was one of the days where, and it's hard to like even put into words what it feels like, because it kind of feels like tingly is at the same time, like it's numb, but like
it's like when your leg falls asleep.
Yes.
But like it doesn't go away.
Yes, it doesn't go away, and it's like I don't know, it just feels weird, and I remember it's just so uncomfortable. Like I just want to like crawl out of my skin. And I remember we were at the facility one day, and it was this was actually one of the reasons why I ended up telling like my dad or anybody in general, because like it was really bad that day, and I literally every time I swung, like I just was so uncomfortable. And I remember like being with you, and like nobody had any clue, and I was getting so frustrated, but like people thought
I was probably telling you your swing sucks or something.
No, well you were probably telling me that I was being annoying about like being frustrated about my swing, but it was
because naturally knowing you,
I'm a
perfectionist to the max. Oh my god, to the max. Yeah. But it's why she's so great. But at the same time, like I'm seeing that, I'm just like, oh, she's getting pissed off by her swing, but like she's doing fine. But all the while, you can't feel your limbs.
Yeah, not a fun experience to go through.
Not at all.
Not ideal.
But overall, and you could kind of tell it how it is. Do you feel like there has been anything remotely positive that has come out of this situation for you?
But like having medical issues?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it forces me to take better care of myself. Because my entire life, I was a travel softball kid, meaning I would literally play at all hours every single day. I was never not playing softball. When I wasn't playing softball, I was playing volleyball, basketball, soccer, any sport I could. And I was just a very active kid. I had ADHD. I was all over the place. I loved playing sports. I loved softball, but like I loved playing sports and being active. And I never really took care of myself ever. Like that was the one thing that growing up, and I just was always go, 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 go. So it forced me to take a second and kind of,
take a step back. Almost.
Yeah, and like I'd still play softball just as much, and it didn't affect softball and the time I spent playing softball, but it did force me to like, hey, like I know I'm gonna be at the field for a long time. Beforehand, make sure I'm eating, make sure I get a good night's sleep, make sure that I'm doing everything possible to make myself not feel bad today. And like if I do feel bad, like it's just gonna happen, just gotta deal with it. But like don't go, because I know now, it just came with maturity that even though if I want to, like, it might cost me in the long run of trying to do something like a stupid practice, and it's not stupid to me in the moment, but like looking back, like there were times where I was like, I need to practice, but it's like, what are you really practicing for if you're not going to be good in the 2 weeks after that when you're actually playing a game? So I think it just made me be a little bit more smart and like take better care of myself.
It's fair, definitely fair. I mean, and there's on the inside of knowing you, and we'll kind of get into this as well, but a big part of that I feel like is your overall perseverance as a human. And this is probably something that, getting real for a second, probably something that I don't tell you nearly enough, but
let's hear it.
you're an extremely perseverant person. Probably the most I've ever met in my life. So it's kind of speaks to how she is at like character-wise, you as a person. It's one of the things that no one can ever take away from you, how perseverant you are. And I think a lot of that came from certain situations growing up, obviously. Like, you had a childhood that's probably not like most others. You still were able to work through that and get to where you are now. But I don't know if you want to touch on that at all.
My growing up, I had 2 older brothers. They're way older than me because my parents had children very young. They had kids at, I think my mom was 15.
Shout out Eric, man.
Yeah, my dad.
Shout out Eric Ingersoll, for real.
Yeah, my dad had kids at 16. Me and my dad are really, really close. Me and my mom, not so much, but me and my dad are very close. And he had kids really young. My dad is, like, one of those people that's just, like, he has such an unreal, like, lore. Like, his, like...
Some unreal stories
his childhood
is,
like,
heard
insane.
In my life.
His childhood is insane. And, like, he wasn't really... When he had kids, he knew, like, he wasn't really... It's sad to say it, but, like, he really knew, like, he wasn't given the tools he needed to succeed the way he possibly could have. Like, my dad is a really smart individual, but he kind of, like... He was a knucklehead when he was younger, and he was not really, like, mature enough. Like, his parents weren't really, like, the best parents. He didn't have any, like, role models. He didn't have any structure, anything. So he had kids. He instantly, like, with becoming a father, I wasn't really around back then, but, like, from what I know and from what people have told me, like, my family members and my dad, like, he instantly switched his lifestyle over to, like, all right, I'm gonna get my kids to have the best life that they possibly can. And with that being said, was not always the easiest thing in the world. Like, you know, we struggled with money. I mean, like, he had kids at 16 years old with no support whatsoever. My dad was the only, like, way he was paying his bills when he was younger. Like, that's just how it was in our family. And my mom really wasn't working. I mean, she was a teenager as well. But my dad, he ended up creating his own business. He did hardware floors and, like, carpentry, stuff like that. And, you know, he did that for a long time. Ended up hurting his back, so he was out of commission for a while. And basically, like, he's had his struggles, but I know that, like, his goal always was to make us have a better life than he did. And he, growing up, like, didn't have the most money at all. Like, it was bad, a lot. But, my oldest brother, he ended up going to the Marines. We don't speak anymore just because of, like, family drama. My other brother, same thing. But growing up, like, I really had 2 older brothers who I was pretty close with. I had, like, my aunt. I had kind of, like, my family. But, like, as I got older, especially in high school, those connections kind of went away just because of, like, family drama and, like, just stuff of that nature. But my dad has always been the, like, number one family member to me. He's always been there for me. But we went through a lot together of, like, just nonsense with, like, my brothers being around, like, you know, alcoholics. Like, that just runs in my family. Like, I could just, like, there's so many stories, but, like, you know, struggling with drugs, alcohol, mental health struggles, like, the whole nine. So, like, growing up, I kind of was like, well, I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but, like, it's not gonna be less. And I kind of had, instead of like role models, like obviously my dad was a role model of mine of like how strong he is and how hard of a worker he is, but also just the people in my life growing up, I've always been like, I do not want to end up like you. And like it is sad to say that, but like when you're born with like we're obviously like we're dealt cards, everybody in life,
Yeah.
and
You,
you kind of
you
gotta
play with the ones that you're
you
given,
gotta
you know?
deal with the ones you're given.
Yep.
So like it's either you can choose to either sit there and be mad at the world and go down the same path that everybody before you has gone down, and like it's not so much like a bad thing. Like I was supposed to go down that path. Like that's what was supposed to happen to me. Like I wasn't supposed to be like, nah, like let's switch it up.
There's certain phrase that our guy Coach Craig uses. Sit in the shit.
Sit in the shit.
You could either sit in the shit or you could work your way out of it.
Yeah, and like you have two options there. You could sit in the shit. You can do what you're supposed to be doing and be ordinary and like just go down the same path that everybody has before you. And like they weren't really given, like I wasn't given much of an option. Neither my parents before me, everybody in my family, like they weren't giving much to, they weren't supposed to succeed. But in my eyes when I was younger, I don't know, I just had something else in my brain that was just like, I do not want to do this, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to get out of the circumstances I'm in. And like obviously it hasn't been the easiest, just because it's like, you know, like you see people your age and like it's not really a bad thing it's a great thing for them, but like, you know, the money that they make from working, like I worked in high school, the money I worked for went to like bills, gas, food,
like
all
like
that.
actual like responsible.
Yeah,
Like
and
you're not just
else,
gonna go to the mall and just spend the whole.
No,
Yeah.
And to this day, like even growing up, like I've always been, I kind of took on a big role of being like the responsible like adult at a very young age. So I kind of, in my mind, like I was very conscious of our situation, and I did whatever I could to try to help. And I feel like I was kind of always like walking on eggshells and like trying like my hardest, like, okay, I know my brain right now, like what do I really want this week? Because like I'm not gonna be able to go to dinner with my friends or like go to the mall with my friends like every day. Like I have to make sure that we're spending, like I was kind of like making sure my parents,
It was like budgeting to an extent.
yeah,
like,
I budgeted for my parents, for my brothers, like for everybody, and like it literally to this day like gives me anxiety to spend money on stuff that's like not important, because I'm like, oh my god, like I don't know, it's just in my brain like that. And I just kind of took on adult responsibilities, and that's just one of them, but at a very young age.
And like at the same time, like you talked about being ordinary, but like not in the sense like everyone else thinks ordinary, but kind of off of that. Like what is the ultimate goal for you? Like what is the bigger goal for you? Whether it's sport, outside of sport, both, whatever it may be.
I mean, my whole life I've been striving to play professional softball. And not that it's like a crazy, well, people are going to think it's a crazy dream, but
listen, if it's people are calling you crazy, then it's not big enough.
Yeah,
right?
so
not big enough.
That is one of the things that like I don't even care what happens. To be honest, I just want to play softball for as long as I can. And I know that even when I do eventually stop playing softball, I'm going to be involved with the game one way or another. Like, I want to continue coaching. One day coach collegiate. And then I really want, in my, like, end game goal, I really want to have kind of, I always say this to Craig, because Craig is our program director. He's been
We should have Craig on this.
He would yap for days. But he's kind of like, he's very, very important to me. He kind of helped me through a lot of things in my life, but like we kind of connected. He became my coach he was my first coach at Impact, and then we kind of realized that we had so much in common, and he has his own personal struggles in his life that he's still like the major thing for me being coached by him is that he was so open with me that like that is where I first started being open about the struggles I've been through, because before I literally would say nothing to nobody, and like it was just one of those things where I was like, I can never tell anybody anything. And he kind of helped me get to that place, and so he I always tell them, like, I want to be how you are with me. Like, I want to be that person to help kids, because I would not be in college without softball, and I knew that when I was younger, that if I want to go to school, I'm going to have to, one, keep my grades up in school, but, like, two, I'm going to have to really, like, lock it in with softball, and, like, that's something I already wanted to do, but then I was, like, the school aspect of it, like, was... It kind of drove me to want to be good in school, because if I didn't have softball, I wouldn't want to go to college. And that was one of the things growing up. Like, nobody in my I'm first generation. Nobody in my family they barely graduated high school. My dad got his GED. So nobody's been to college. And that wasn't even a thought in my head about college. And then I started playing softball, and then it wasn't even a thought of not playing in college, because I was like, yeah, of course, like, college softball was always it was the main thing. There wasn't professional softball.
Like what is it about softball for you?
When I was younger, I started playing when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and my grandpa and my dad really liked baseball, and that's who I was always with. So baseball, I always would watch, and then, I don't know, I just started playing. When I was 7 years old, my dad took me to a travel softball, like, tryout, and he was like, listen, you're not going to make this team, but I need you to know that, like, we need...
Little did he know.
Well, he was like, I want you to try out to just have things you could get better on for next year, and I was like, okay, well... fine. So I just thought it was like practice. I just showed up, and then like the coach ended up like begging my dad, being like, she'll never play, I just want her on the team, like just have her on the team. I was already really little, and then I was 7 playing with a bunch of 10-year-olds, so my dad was like, ugh. And then he was like, fine. So I literally remember my first at bat, I struck out.
I can't even believe that, like, because now like pretty normal size, like 20-year-old, but I've really seen the pictures of her when she was like 7 years old.
I was extremely tiny. I was so tiny. And my dad was so nervous.
Cannot believe you flew with 10-year-olds.
And so my first at bat, I struck out, and I remember I was pissed. I went to the dugout, and I was like, this is awful. And I was like, suck, this is bad. And my dad I remember my dad pulling me aside and was like, yo, Derek Jeter strikes out all the time. And I was like, you're right. And I was perfectly fine. I ended up becoming a second baseman on that team. I was starting second baseman. Then eventually went to shortstop. And I literally have never left it. And I just kept playing up. I was like, the next year I played 12U. And then I just kept going up. And I don't know. I love the game itself. It just like, you can't, like, for me, you can't beat, like, taking ground balls, like, diving for a ball, like, making a play, like, it's just something in me that I like, absolutely love playing softball, and then on top of it, it was always my home, it was always, like, where I went away from, like, all of the life things, like, I could just be a kid, I could be myself, and I could just, like, be the best I always felt like the best version of myself was on the softball field, and I like absolutely loved being there. It was just my escape. And then like being a leader, like I love the fact that I was a shortstop. I loved being like in control. Like I'm not a control freak.
What like about shortstop too? Like what is it about? Because she doesn't even leave sure to bring practice.
No, well,
you don't even go anywhere.
There's no need.
There's no need. Right, you're the shortstop. You stay there. But what is it about playing shortstop?
I think it's just like knowing that like it's not even like knowing that I'm like not like the best or anything. It's just that like I know that I'm like I have the IQ to be a shortstop. You have to have a really high IQ in softball. It's
like a control thing too, like being.
I'm not really a control freak. I think.
Yeah, me neither.
You are. I'm not. I'm not.
I am not a control freak. I like when things are done to
control freak.
Very particular order.
But I'm not like that, but like with softball, I'm very perfectionist, and so with softball, I know that like I have eyes everywhere. I know like what I just know what throw I need to make. Like I just know shortstop like the back of my hand. And at this point in my career, and like even before that, like I've just always like I'm obsessed with softball. I'm obsessed with playing shortstop. And like to go into that is I think my obsession with softball and the game, shortstop, whatever you want to say, like just perfecting my craft, it's like I have the addict gene. everybody in my family has been addicted to a substance, alcohol, whatever it may be. It's something that I was always very conscious of growing up, because like my dad even like told, like my dad was honest with me, and like he wanted me to not go down that path, so that's why he was honest with me. And I saw it with my brothers, I saw it in my family growing up, and I think with softball, that is where the addiction kind of like went. And I know it's silly to say, but I really think that that's where like I just get adrenaline from playing, and I'm like obsessed with it, and I can't really form another explanation other than that would make any sense, besides like I just love it. But I think I love it, and I think like my addict gene kind of went to that, which is a good thing.
And in a weird, crazy, sick way, I like me coaching with her, me watching her play, like I get it on the path that we're both like that when we coach as well. Like we can't get enough of whether it's going into a tournament and trying to win it, whether it's at a practice trying to develop these kids that we train, which we will get into these kids. Don't you guys worry. We will definitely get into that. But it's just like you want more. Yeah. I coach high school at Fairfield Ludlow, and our head coach, Coach Adam.
He's another one. So Coach Adam was my coach in Impact.
Coach Adam also coached at Impact.
And so him, Coach Mike, and Coach Craig will always make fun of me for saying one more rep.
Just one more rep. Just one more rep.
One more.
But he always really just talks about the reason why, and he has had his moments where he's like, I'm done. I am not coaching anymore. I'm out of here. But at the same time, he's always told me and been honest with me about this part of he'll never really get away from it, because there's always he's never going to be satisfied with that. No. And that's something that I've started to feel like with myself. Like, and I had it when I played sports too, but I think it's almost amplified for me for coaching, because there's
not wanting to walk away because you want to top it.
Exactly.
That's how
you
I
always
am with softball.
Yeah. You always want to top what you're trying to do. Whether it's you have a team like us, we have a team of 14-year-olds. Someday they're going to graduate and go to college, but there's going to be another group of kids that we're able to coach.
Yeah.
How can we make those kids better than the last? And that
I think it's all about leaving the game better than you found it, and that's something that has always been the thing in my mind. Like from day one, I know deep in my heart, like I can set as many records, I can be the absolute best softball player in the country right now. There's going to be somebody that tops that eventually, because that's just how sports work. Like the next generation, they're trying to work to top whatever the generation before you did. That's just how it is, and that's how the sport grows. So I'm aware that I'm never going to be you're gonna be in history books with like your records, but like there's always gonna be somebody topping that. But I want to be remembered as somebody who really left the game better than I found it, in terms of like not only the game, but just being like having fun, loving the game. Like I absolutely love the game, and the best compliment I've ever gotten from anybody is like I could tell you love the game when I watch you play. Like I love watching you play. Like you're entertaining, you're energetic. That's the biggest thing for me, and like being a good teammate. And like those kids really pushed me to take away my perfectionism for a second and have a hard game. And it's like, it's hard
to have, not hard to have a bad game or a bad day, but it's hard to let that show even more than you already don't want to let it show. When like
I have all eyes on me all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And that kind of started when I was younger, just being the youngest kid on the team. I always had a chip on my shoulder of like wanting to prove something. And last year, being a freshman, it was the same thing. I just had a chip on my shoulder wanting to prove something. And like then so eyes on me of like how I am as a softball player, but then once I've already kind of proven myself, it's still eyes on me and like how is she gonna react. Like this year especially, I know eyes are going to be on me from the first pitch, just because I was rookie of the year last year, and people are going to be judging me. If that could be good, that could be bad. It's going to be more about how I react to things.
Like is that a thing in your head, like you're super, super conscious about right now? Like that you want to live up to something, or is it just like you're just going through it? Like
I'm kind of annoyed that I got Rookie of the Year because now
I'm annoyed she didn't get first team all conference.
Oh,
that's,
no.
That's me.
So when this all happened,
she can't see that, but I can see that.
I will say what I want to say. Awards are stupid, and I will never believe in any and this is what I mean. I don't care about any awards. To me, I proved myself. I literally didn't even think I had that good of a year. One, I was like
perfectionist.
I was not happy.
The natural perfectionist.
I was not happy with the year I had. Like I was okay with it, but I was not
hit 400.
Yeah, I was not happy.
Yeah,
I'm used to hitting 600.
I bet you weren't. Yeah.
But no, I just wasn't, and I think awards are like great, but like they're so like skewed and like it's so political, and it's like who cares? Like the first team all conference stuff was so stupid because like. It just made no sense. But so for me, I know that people are watching film on me. I know that people know me now, and like people knew me before this, so it's not something that I'm not.
It's not something that's like new.
But
you have to do with this high school as well, like
yeah.
Because I'll say too, like her first 2 years of high school, she did extremely well as a freshman. Saw her playing on varsity, but that junior year, people kind of started to not attack a weakness necessarily. I will say there's not many weaknesses in her game, but stuff she's just not as strong at. And you saw a little bit of a dip in your junior year a little bit, and it got back to normal senior. But something that everyone kept seeing a lot, and just even in other teams, if you don't let her hit, it was a little hard for her team to produce the runs.
So I would just get walked.
But then your junior year, she was almost trying to force the hits, which lead into just like almost getting yourself out of the way.
My junior year, I was also going through a lot of
going on top of everything else that's going on. They were trying to find ways to pitch.
My junior year was really hard because it wasn't only like the brain malformation. I was practically homeless. I committed somewhere else, didn't work out there.
That was senior year.
No,
committing.
That was okay. Yeah, but like I was
same thing. The thing before that, yes.
But my junior year, I was trying to be recruited, and I was getting really good looks, and I wasn't really sure as to what I wanted to do yet, and my recruitment was just a lot. But
I wasn't sure if we were gonna touch on this, but we might as well break it open now. So you're at Southern Connecticut right now, obviously. Yes. You were not originally committed to go there. If you wanna share your piece on that.
As I was being recruited, I was not taking into consideration anything regarding school. At all. I wish Craig was there. Because Craig wanted
I just think we need to have Craig on here, you know?
Craig wanted to kill me.
I think we have to.
Craig wanted to kill me because he would get the emails, and then what I started doing...
And you would just say no.
No, no. Well, okay, yeah. That's a different thing. But, yeah, I would say no to people just because they were in the Northeast. And, like, just because they were in the Northeast, because I was like, I'm not staying close to home. I'm leaving. So I would literally say no. But Craig... like we would have to attach the coaches on our emails to coaches, and like he was getting annoyed because I was emailing like people that like not that I shouldn't have, but he was just like what about the school, like what are you thinking here, and I would just ignore him, and then I removed him from the emails. And I would just deal with like my own. Yeah, I was don't do that, but it was bad. But I was going through recruiting. I wanted to go originally down south, and then it changed to out west. I wanted to go. Was talking to a lot of coaches, a lot of schools. I was touring a lot of schools, and I really thought that I was gonna either go D1, D2, down south, out west. Like that was what I thought I was going to do. Yeah. So not that I couldn't have done that. I could have very easily done that. However, Izzy didn't have money for school, so. Division 1 is like, yes.
Did not take that part into heavy consideration while we were doing this.
I figured like, yeah, like I'm gonna get a full ride, which like, listen,
is possible. It
was possible.
Was possible.
But I was being stupid about how I was going about everything. So with Division 1, like obviously, I could be a Division 1 player. I had the opportunities to be a Division 1 player. It's just. Everything was kind of aligning a certain way. Like, I did think I was going to either go Division 1 or Division 2, down south or out west.
But you weren't necessarily D1 or bust, right?
And that was the thing. I wasn't. I just wanted to play. In my mind, with Division 1, why I wanted to be Division 1 was because I wanted the level of playing of, like...
not just the title of...
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I want to go do one. I just wanted, like, everybody's like, it's like a job. Like, I was like, sign me up. Like, I want to be, like, that's what I want to do. But there's a lot of Division 1 teams that are not that good. There's a lot of Division 2 teams that could beat. There's a lot of Division 3 teams.
Yeah.
And that's what we'll get into in a second. But Division 2 and Division 3, there's a lot of in JUCO, there's a lot of teams that beat Division 1 teams. So that's where I was like, I'm not D1 or bust. I just want to compete. And for Division 2, I was looking at schools that I could win a national championship with. So that's where my mind was like, I want to win a national championship. I want to win. So, and, like, how cool would it be just to, like, Division 2 national championship? That's awesome. Division 1, Oklahoma wins every year. So, like, what...
Boomer.
Like, sooner. And when I was younger, I thought I was going to go to Oklahoma. That went away. Anyways.
Yeah, me too.
Division 3, I wasn't really taking into consideration. Not because it's Division 3, but just because the schools that were reaching out to me were very high academic schools. And I was like, I don't know what this is. So I would just... I would ignore. And one day we were in Colorado, and Craig was like, yo, you seen that email? Tough sent you. And I'm like, and he was like, that's legit, because the coach, love her, she's the best, actually. Long email about, like,
legend.
Yeah, about, like, legend. How she loved me, all this great stuff, like, good information. And I was just like, okay, like, and I wasn't like, oh, Division 3. I was just like, okay, like, I had never heard of the school because I literally was not looking into schools.
You weren't thinking about any of that.
Yeah, and
not even a little bit.
But that's what I mean, because, like, with my recruitment, it wasn't like I want to go D1 and, like, I'm not looking at D3s. It was like I want softball. So the second I learned that they were good at softball, I was like, okay. So they win a lot, the national championship.
Which again, do not advise to do that.
Yeah, worry about school first.
Do not advise to do that.
But
sorry.
Yeah, so school-wise, I was like, okay. But then I, like, learned that they were, like, really good at softball, and I loved the coach and the girls. Like, it was awesome. Like, I toured there, I loved it. It was great. Wasn't really a fan of going to Boston, that area. I did not want to be in Massachusetts. I did not want to be in the cold, and I was, like, not a fan of that.
Listen, I went on a recruiting trip with her. It was awesome. I loved it.
That was the second time.
That was the second time.
The first time it was like, yeah, I actually really liked it, but I was like, was
that not the first time?
That was not the first. I went with my dad the first time. I didn't stay overnight.
Oh,
you brought me to overnight, and I was scared shitless.
Yeah.
I was like,
I loved it. I loved my time there. I was ready to. I was ready to go. I thought I was staying over too. I was ready to stay.
So I actually really liked it. I couldn't really tell anybody I liked it because everybody wanted me to go there because it was like Coach,
so naturally you had to just be an asshole.
Yeah. Right? So Coach Craig and Coach Mike were in my ear about how crazy of an education it was, and, like, they come from similar backgrounds as me, of just, like, you know, poor people, addicts, just not a lot going on that's good there, right?
Not a lot of good things right now.
Them two are kind of like my role models of, like, getting out of that. So they started talking to me, and I'm just like, fuck this. Like, everybody's telling me what to do, like, blah, blah, blah. So me and Craig, I was like anti-Craig at that moment. Mike, on the other hand, Mike was like, all right, I'm gonna be real with you, like. And he literally, we sat in a car going to South Carolina, me, Craig, and Mike. Craig actually was quiet for the most part. Mike was like, because Mike was in between me and Craig of being like, Craig, you gotta shut up because she's never gonna do what you say if you just keep dadding her. You just gotta shut up. And to me, he was like, you gotta stop being an asshole. Like, listen to the people that care about you, please, because they're right. And we talked about how, like, it's just life-changing to go there because it's the education alone. And, like, that's exactly what I was talking about of, like, wanting to break the chain of my family and, like, wanting to, like, just switch it up and actually be something and go on the right path. So, ultimately, made the decision, and I was like, all right, I'm going to listen. Gave it another chance, and I was like, yeah, like, this, on paper, this is the best decision for me. On paper, this is the best decision for me. The money was being handled. It was taken care of through whatever. We don't have to get into
Powers that be, yes.
But it was getting handled, so I wasn't going to have to pay. I was going to be taken care of. I was going to probably be a starter at my position, shortstop, and compete for national championship while also, having this, like, life-changing education. And that was just, like, that education alone just, like, wiped every other offer out of the water. So I commit there. And so when you commit to a school like that, it's also the same thing with Ivy Leagues, like Yale, all that. You commit to the admissions process. So you're not necessarily committing there 100%. You're verbally committing. You're not writing anything. So that can change. So my senior year of high school, I was dealing with a lot of stuff. My head stuff was horrible at this moment. My living situation was, like, going back and forth. Throughout my whole life, it was always, like, I moved around a lot because my dad, like, we couldn't afford rent at a certain place. We had to move to another place. We would just always move. And, like, for high school, it didn't matter because I went to Notre Dame, which is a private school, and, like, it doesn't matter where you live. So I would literally move all the time. Like, it was actually crazy. I didn't really have a stable home. It was just kind of like stuff in a suitcase ready to go at any moment. So that was all happening. Like every possible bad thing that could have happened
just happened.
Like, my dog died.
Murphy's Law got you a little bit in that
couple
months
just like
span.
Every possible thing. My dog died that I've had for, like, ever. She had cancer. She passed away. Had to put her down. So, like, the worst day of my life. Then what else happened? Lost my home.
The brain.
Just, like, just a bunch of bad things happened. And so I was still playing Impact, and, like, that was kind of, like, the only thing I had going for me is, like, going to Impact practices. So I was, like, at this point, I'm a senior. I'm kind of looked at as, like, the leader of the organization. I thrived with that. I loved it. I loved Mike and Craig. They were so great with me, like, always knew something, whatever was happening, like, checked in on me, made sure I was always at practice, like, we would have, like, hitting groups at one point during the week from one of the practices. I would go an hour early, would stay for both hitting groups. I would stay an hour late, so I was there for, like, 5 hours on just, like, one day. Then the next day was, like, organizational, like, would go
and you would just almost stay with them, yeah. You'd almost stay with them, just kind of hang out with them, like.
Oh yeah,
because they understood it, like they know everything. Like, they knew everything that was happening, so. And that was a huge thing.
There's a lot to go into. We probably don't have the time to just sit here and talk about all my issues in life.
And this comes from, like, my point of view as someone that I wasn't with Impact just yet, but I understood how important Mike and Craig were, and that was one of the biggest things for me, knowing that, like, wow, they really care about this kid, like, way more than just, like, a player.
Yeah, they were like another parent.
Exactly.
Like, they took care of me whenever we went out.
Yeah, and then the first day of high school practice happens.
What story is less? I don't even know.
Same tough story. You never finished it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So
got a little sidetracked there. My bad.
So basically, I wasn't in school a lot. I was in the hospital a lot. And then when I wasn't in the hospital, I was in a hotel. My car. Oh, that was the other thing. I lost my car.
No car. Yeah, that was it.
I had no car.
In a hotel about 50 minutes away.
I was in a hotel far because I was the cheapest one. He had to bring me to school. At this point, actually, no. You were ordering me Ubers to go to school because I couldn't.
Because it was
just impossible for you to get me. So that happened. So I was like struggling to get to school. Basically, my first application, I don't get denied, but I don't get accepted. Ebbs calls me and she's like, "All right, we're gonna fix this. It's just because I had a B in a class, and in my entire life I've had straight A's. And I had one B minus. And so they at this point it might have been a little worse than that, but it wasn't like my final grades. So it wasn't a big deal, but like to Tufts it was a big deal. So I was like, okay, I need to, like, get my, like, I can't just, at that point, I will admit, with school, I was sitting in the shit. I wasn't ever there, and then that was my excuse of, like, I don't, like, I'm giving up. And it wasn't so much, like, that I'm giving up. It was more so that just, like, nothing seemed fair, and it was just always, like, why me? Like, why is it, like, everybody told me that it was going to get better, and nothing's getting better. It's just progressively getting worse, and it's, like, every day it's something, and I'm so tired. I was exhausted. I was exhausted of having to be in school, and, like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm in school, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but, like, at the same time, I'm worried about, like, bills, I'm worried about, like, real life stuff, and it's like nobody around me can relate to me. Like, these teachers don't even know, like, yeah, I didn't do my homework because, hey, like, I didn't have Wi-Fi last night because I was in a random hotel. Like, it's just, like, stuff like that with people just not, like, understanding, and I felt so misunderstood, I felt so tired, and I was just like, I'm so over this, and I just wanted to, like, crawl in a hole at that point. And so my grades went down. I get them back up. I'm in a good routine of Chris' dad would bring me to school. His mom would make me lunch. His family really, like, stepped in for me and helped me, like, so much to get through, like, one of the worst, probably the worst, like, time of my life. And so I'm getting my grades up. I'm feeling good about things. And this was the first practice of our Notre Dame season, which I was already, like, dreading because I didn't have any friends anymore on the team. And my team, like, I didn't feel like anybody took it as seriously as me, so I would get so mad. And so I was just like, I want travel. Like, this is stupid. So I get a call, because I reapplied, and it's my coach, and she's just, like, mad. Coach Ebb, she was just mad.
Not at you.
No, not at me. But admissions denied me. And I did everything I could. I got all my grades up. The worst grade was a B. They were like, we can't see past it. Like, she's not. The exact words, I think, were like, well, if she can't do good there, like, how is she gonna do good in college? And, like, though that was like, are you actually serious? And then I'm like,
and this is no way bashing the school or anything. It's just that particular comment.
And I understand.
It drove me the wrong way as well.
And
completely.
I understand. And, like, with a school like that, it is what it is. So it's not. It's frustrating. It is what it is. It's not like everything happens for a reason, so it's really not a huge deal. But that happens. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I remember this vividly. I cried in Chris's Jeep, and then I went to practice, and nobody knew. Everybody actually made comments about how good of a mood I was in, and I was so miserable, and I wanted to rip somebody's head off, but no, I was in a perfect mood. So, yeah, that happened, and nobody knew anything. I told, obviously my coaches knew, Chris knew, and then we just went from there of like, all right, next step. Honestly, I had to reopen my recruitment, and I thought it was going to be way worse than it was.
I was actually pretty.
It was actually
like pretty good.
It was a normal person's recruitment.
A normal person's recruiting process, like.
I had a lot of D1s up here. I had a lot of Division 2s.
You honestly had a pretty typical high school athlete recruiting process after that, which is kind of crazy.
I was looking all around here, and I reopened, and like there were some people I said no to, but they were actually like happy that I was uncommitted, and it
was cool to connect with people after that. I think even for I don't want to speak for you, but for you to see that it's not just like, okay, this is it, I'm done, like I'm cooked.
It was so
like
funny.
You still had more.
Yes, it was so funny because I remember I was like, this is embarrassing. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm mortified, and I'm like, I don't want anybody to know. So
because you already made the Tufts post and all that, like after your social medias, like you're mortified for those reasons. Obviously, yes.
Yeah, and I take everything down progressively. Like,
I think you told one down like last week. I'm not gonna lie.
Me?
Yeah, I thought you did. I thought you still had one up.
No.
Oh, maybe I did.
I don't know.
Something.
I had things like my Twitter. I didn't really care. I just took it on my bio because Twitter is used for like recruitment.
Yeah.
So Twitter, I didn't really care. Instagram, I deleted the post. I archived the post. I took it out of my bio.
But still, yes, we're working on the recruiting process, though. Yeah.
And, well, I'm saying, like, it was funny because the second I did that, there were people that were like, did you uncommit? Like, coaches. Like college coaches.
Just pretty...
And I'm like...
Pretty crazy.
I'm like, how did you know that?
They're just watching your Twitter.
And so I was like, I remember getting a text and it was like, hey, like, not to be a stalker, but, like, saw that, like, the poster down, like, are you, like, free agent again? And I'm like, hey, I am, like, and I had to, like, kind of, be like, I didn't want to go to that school, but I was like, yeah, I am.
Whisper it. Who was that? Who? Whisper it. I'll mute this anyway. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a couple schools.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It wasn't just them.
I mean, hey, that would have been, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it just wasn't meant...
Definitely didn't... There's no way I could have gave that away, though, but that's...
But, yes, so I picked Southern because financial stuff, perfect for me. Location, I was able to coach. So I was able to make money. I was able to be around the people I wanted to be around. So, like, I was around Impact. I was around you and the girls. I was able to come to everything for coaching. And then, like, if I was having a bad day, I would literally just go and, like, hit with whoever. And, like, I would get ground balls. And, like, I'd be able to be around my people. And, like, that was really important for me at this point in my life. And, yeah, so, like, Southern was, like, the perfect. And then, like, I ended up starting, which I knew I had a good chance at. And it was a good Division II conference. It was just, like, everything lined up perfect. So I decided on Southern.
And this is where kind of I want to bring up the coaching aspect of it now, like the giving back to the game. How, and this is like a two-parter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Well, no, but how important of a decision was it that you wanted to continue working with athletes? But also at the same time, yes, how it played into that, but what about it? What, like, because there's probably more athletes than not that have never worked with any kind of youth athletes before, ever. So what about you? Pretty much being a full-time coach along with a full-time student and collegiate softball player. What's about it for you?
With coaching, I didn't think I was gonna I knew I was gonna like it because it's softball, but I always was like, I like playing. I don't want to like sit there and watch other people play. But the girls, like, I absolutely like adore. We had them when a lot of them were like 10, 11,
yeah.
10, 11,
Few
12.
when they were 10.
So
some kids we have now at 13, 14 years old when they were 10.
Yeah, so we had a lot of younger kids. I just like I love the game, and then like being around a bunch of kids that like soak it up. They're funny. They're so funny, and like
they're too funny.
Like I just like
it's insane.
I see a lot of myself in different aspects in certain kids. And I think my relationships with said kids had a lot to do with, like, I love coaching and, like, being a role model and somebody that, like, they can look up to that I did have, but, like, somebody that I needed when I was a kid. That's who I always strive to be, somebody that I would have really needed when I was a kid to look up to or just to be around. And so with the younger kids, coaching them, it just, like, it made me better. Like, it made me realize, like, I had, like, made me better softball-wise because I was always talking about softball and, like, around it. But, like, it just made me a better person. And I loved being with you and coaching with you because we got to, like, just, like, have, it's, like you always say, it's, like, playing a video game. But, like, we're literally, like, coaching a bunch of kids and, like, making them, like, we have them younger, so it's, like, their foundations. So, like, we're literally making them, like, so much more advanced, I feel like, because both of us were, like, good players and, like, played the right way, I want to say, like, just, like, scrappy and, like, played really hard. So I think with that, it was just, like, I loved, like, forming them into, like, not mini-me's, but, like, just, like...
like...
No, but, like...
Inadvertently. And, like, I thought that was almost, like, a me thing, too. Like, there's... is that like a typical one of our practices, give them the drill we're going to do, and I'll say, Izzy, demo it. And like if it's like a ground ball or something, like technique, something like that, I'll hit it and she does it. So they're always seeing her do stuff. And just by the nature of the beast, they start to move like she does. They start to act on the field how you do. Like, and it's a huge
and like that's the other thing. Like,
huge part for them to have someone to look at like that.
Yeah, and I've played with the best of them and the worst of them, both playing wise and person wise. And like I just want, like, it goes back to like I want to leave the game better than I found it, and it's like I want this next wave of athletes with impact now to be more like love the game, have energy. I don't want you to be perfect. I don't need you to be perfect. And like that's where I'm kind of like,
I just hate boring.
Yeah, and
I
like,
just hate boring.
With me, I was always like that, but like I also was very perfectionist, and there are some kids on our team that are like that I'm like, all right, like look at, like I know exactly. And like this is the other thing, that it's like, as much of like the coaches at Impact are so good, like Mike, Craig, you, Adam, all of them, they're so good. They were not softball players. I've been playing softball my entire life, longer than these kids have been alive, and I know exactly how these kids feel sometimes. And it's like, sometimes I want to go in their brain and be like, I know that you think that it's not okay right now and that like the whole world is ending because you struck out, but like, look at me right now, like, I'm fine. I lived through it. It's okay. It's gonna be everything is going to be okay. And like just like helping them, and like I see a lot of them in me, and like I don't know. I want to help them, and I love being around them. I love getting them to be better as softball players, but also as people. And like it's been like one of the best things that have come out of like the last couple of years is being able to like be around them and coach them.
It's just like such a rewarding thing, I feel like. And like aside from like on the field, like off the field, like how much they are like learning to thrive in environments where it's like you might have a kid that's really good in school, you might have a kid that's not really good in school though, and them learning to overcome certain stuff in softball, it's helping them outside of it. And that's always like the biggest thing for me, like them learning how to work through and kind of overcome some kind of like challenges. And
I agree.
Doing it without, and this is the huge part of me that I always lose sight of, and I think we all do to an extent coaching wise, but letting them be who they are. And working through that with them. Like I don't want a robot. Like I can't.
No, I hate
like
that.
you there's no. And this even goes for like a set swing. There's no set anything.
Yeah, and a big thing for me, like as much as it's awesome, like I'm such a harsh critic, and I'm like, well, when I was their age, I didn't act like that, and like I love that I'm like that only because it's like I'm not gonna have somebody that I like I said before, I played my entire life like. You can't, there's nothing you could tell me about the sport or about like the situation that you're in that I haven't been through. And it's like, you're not going to sit here and act a certain way. Like that's where I get like with coaching younger girls, there are times where like you want to rip their heads off. Like they're just like, like the emotions. And I get the emotions because I've been there, but also at the same time, like I do realize that some of these kids, like they're not, they didn't go through the same things I went through. So I had like softball was my escape, and also like for me, I was already going through other things at their age that like nobody, probably there's some people that won't ever experience this in their adulthood life. You know what I mean? So now looking back, I'm like, all right, like yeah, I might be a little bit harsh on them about certain stuff, but like I'm trying to make them into strong people, and also like not singing the shit and not like poor me behavior. Like everything else I can deal with, like, and that's what I say to them, like errors we can deal with, like they suck sometimes and you have a harder time dealing with it than I do. I'm fine.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
I'm better with the errors.
Honest, in game I am much worse. At a practice,
Yes,
I
agree.
think you are much worse.
Okay, but like practice,
And the great thing is about us, we're never bad cop at the same time.
no.
It's always a good cop. There's always a good cop and a bad cop.
I'm normally
you,
a good
you just
cop.
don't know which one it's going to be sometimes.
I'm normally a good cop, but
Listen, and I'll be the first one to
Made a
admit,
kid cry
in
last
game,
week.
as the quote, whatever the head coach of the team, I have to call pitches, I have to coach their base, whatever it may be. There's sometimes where I need something specific to happen, and we don't do it, so I might get a little annoyed with them, right?
Yeah.
But in practice, I feel like I'm much more understanding than you are. I feel like that's so true.
it is true. But guess what?
I think you not expect more, but I think you.
I do expect more.
You expect more.
And it's more. Honest to God,
It's a good thing though. There's always checks and balances of it
it's
all.
never physical though. It's always like the emotional stuff, or
Oh,
like
man.
the mental
Oh,
stuff.
man.
Like that's where I expect more from people, and it's like there's specific examples of each one of them. Like
Yeah.
there's some people that you're probably thinking of now.
Yeah.
With emotions, but there's also people who forget their things every single time. And
Oh, yeah.
It's like you are one of the kids that like we have a kid who wants to play at the highest level imaginable, and it's like you're saying this, but you also like you're forgetting your stuff every day.
And she's an incredible player, an incredible kid
She is,
as well.
and it's so hard to get mad at her.
But she always forgets her shit.
Yeah, it's so hard
Not
to get mad
always,
at her.
but
I
there
love
was like a
her.
2-week span where back-to-back weeks she forgot stuff.
I love her to death, and it's hard to get mad at her, but like somebody has to be getting mad at her, or she's never going to learn.
Yeah.
And it's like we can all be like, yeah, she's the best, and like we want her to play, and it's like, yeah, we do, but like she can't just like think like, hey, like I'm just really good at softball, like, and I'm a good kid, that's gonna get me anywhere. Like no, like unfortunately,
Like little things.
Unfortunately, like with the forgetting your stuff, like I know sometimes it's like out of your control, but like you get to college, it's like,
Yeah. Exactly.
forgot your stuff, and it's not your fault. I don't care.
These kids, they're so funny.
Oh, they're the best. I love
They're
them.
they're so.
Play Roblox with them.
She will play
all the time.
Roblox. Yes, she will play
I love
Roblox
it.
with them.
They're
It's
the best.
like we will be we will just be at a practice, and it's you watch Peanuts, like the whatever, like all here is just like the parents in the Peanuts cartoons. That's all I just hear from them sometimes. And like what
They like to make fun of Chris.
Yeah, I love it,
They
but
like Milo.
they okay.
It's
Let's
so-
not act like they don't like me. Let's relax.
No,
a
they
little
love
bit.
Chris.
Yeah. Let's ease up on Chris a little
They
bit.
love Chris, but they also
Yeah, like no, they give it to me, but I give it to them first. So it's like they're
it's
giving
so
it back to
funny.
me. There's
yeah,
there's
they love
this
you.
one kid,
They love you.
and I will name drop this girl Jada. I have been coaching Jada
for the longest.
for the longest of any of these kids. I've been coaching Jada for this is my 4th year now. Not Dorley as her head coach. I've been her head coach for 3 years, but Jada, I've been coaching her for softball since I started coaching softball 4 years ago. And it's our running joke that we currently have, but Jada's character development is
Oh my God.
incredible.
Even from when
She
I know her.
she wouldn't like she straight up just I mean she was also 9 years old and terrified, but she wouldn't speak.
All of them though. Like what are we talking
Well,
about? All
yeah,
of them.
true. Like literally all of them.
I'm
but
sorry.
but it's always like I think it's because I've had it for like the longest ending. I've had 2 of them for 3 years and 1 of them for 2 years now, and the rest for
Been
this
2
one
years.
season.
I feel like it's been 3 and 4. No, it's 3.
Yeah,
2.
start of the halfway point of 2.5 technically, then 1.5.
Yeah.
But then and then there was one that like I could have had 2 or 3 years ago and just didn't work out. Now I have her. A couple kids I've known for a while, like siblings of kids, because I've just known. But this team that we have now, like
I love them.
it's
so fun.
so they're a 14U team. And it's a double whammy. One, we have extremely young kids on the team. We have a girl that just turned 12, a girl that just turned 13, and then a girl that turns 13 on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So already we're one of the youngest teams. We are only all 8th graders. Oh, sorry, we have 2 freshmen. We have 2 freshmen, then all 8th graders.
Yeah.
But they are a first-year team as a group together, but also they're all 8th graders. They're so much younger than all these teams we
they
play.
are. And like so going to Impact, I played Impact, so I know. I knew going in what was gonna happen.
I did not play Impact.
But you also knew. We both knew. However, going into Impact, I knew our team was going to struggle the first weekend because we played in a tournament that had like these
The term thrown into the fire isn't even the term to
like
use.
these national
Thrown
teams.
into the garbage disposal and then lit that on fire and then blew it up.
And it's like, that's just how...
I have to challenge them.
Yeah, it just had to happen, but
A lot of them, pretty much every single one of them that played 12U softball, they were the hot commodities of their town. They're like, oh yeah, my shit doesn't sting. I'm this, I'm that.
I'm the best one on my team, and then
we had to show them you're not
that.
that.
A special team, and they thought just because they wore it on their chest meant that they earned anything, and I'm like, no. We're not doing that. And I think, like, now that we're with Impact, I think this is why I'm a little bit more of, like, a hard ass with them, especially knowing that, like...
It's representing you.
Yeah, it's a part...
Who came before you.
It feels like it's, like, a part of my soul.
Oh, 100%.
And, like... Not only that, it's, like... I told this to Craig and Mike. I was like, I feel like you. I feel like I'm so old. Like, I remember my first showcase with Impact. Same exact talk I gave them. First of all,
she gave him the old good talk about.
Oh my god, like they're acting like babies, and I'm like, dude. First of all, I don't care if we're at a showcase or not. You can't act like a baby. You're 14 now, so shut up. 1, 2.
And I'm the hard ass. I'm the hard ass.
2, it's like you're at a college showcase, and there's no colleges, but like this is what we're preparing you for.
That's why we're here. Like that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. Get ready for it.
And so like I had to explain to them like colleges they're at your games because they know that you're good. They know that they come to Impact knowing like Impact, they have a good program. There are probably kids that can play. They're searching for the kid that can play. That's also like the best teammate and also like somebody who loves the game and is energetic and like does everything right. Not the kid who is amazing, but then pouts.
Yeah, no one
after
wants
fumbling
that.
one ground ball or like shaking out.
Nobody wants
whatever.
that.
So like I feel like with playing Impact and like playing at this next like competition level for them, I think at first it was a challenge, but I think I'm actually so proud of like everything like they've done, and I think this summer is gonna be actually really fun with them because they now are used to
this
it.
entire even the first one when we got our ass kicked it was still a good time.
It was fun.
It was different fun for me because I was like, this is going to be going back to a practice now. It's gonna be so fun because they have no choice but to give me 1,000,000% effort on anything, and just going back to like the earning the impact on your chest. I think throughout this fall and by the end of that fall, they have more than earned.
Oh, I agree.
Earned the impact for them.
I agree.
But you have to keep it. It's not something that is just like when you play for a known program like this. It's not just like, okay, I did it once. Now it's like cool. They had a very, very good fall. Whatever it's like record wise, playing wise. Like
falls are always the best.
It's like
don't get me started on falls being better than the summer.
Yeah, it's like they have to keep it up, and I really think they will. But
they're doing awesome.
But these kids are the best.
Yeah, but, it's fun to be around them.
So to wrap this all up right now,
okay, so don't be mad at me. You're gonna be mad at me.
I don't know if I'm mad, but to wrap up every episode here, do a little segment. Obviously, this is the Everyday Athlete podcast. So what I ask for the everyday athlete that comes in is bring their favorite candy, and we'll do. Listen, I love candy.
Okay,
I love candy. Hold on. we get to review the candy, and then I propose the question to the athlete about being the everyday athlete. So, what candy do you have for us to?
I love candy too, but I know that you like Kit Kats, so I.
Oh my god!
However, I kind of sat on them, so.
Oh my god! They're all melted.
It's not my fault. I didn't sit on them. I think it's just the heat from like. I didn't have anywhere to put them, Chris.
I'm still taking a bite.
I didn't have anywhere to put them.
I cannot believe you did that. Why'd you put them on the ground? In what universe, why wouldn't you put this on the ground?
I wasn't thinking. I didn't want to bend over for it. Delicious. We've been doing that. Talking at the same time, saying the same things, you know. We wore the same shirt here. Then he changed.
He kept still good. I love good.
I give this 6-7 out of 6-7.
Rate this out of 10, like a normal human. Obviously, Kit Kat, solid 10. I love Kit Kats, which it wasn't.
10.
This Kit Kat specifically, probably a 6-7. because it's melted, and I really can't handle it without making a mess here. So I will not be eating more than one bite. But as I try to work through this, the ending question that every guest will have here, what makes the everyday athlete the everyday athlete?
What do you mean by that?
What?
Yeah, only one bite, my butt.
I must misphrase that because I was here. What makes your everyday athlete story per se? What about it makes you work through being an everyday athlete? Like how has that impacted your life?
I think overall my life has always been like kind of underdog situation. Like I wasn't supposed to end up in college. I wasn't supposed to end up successful. I feel like my cards that I was dealt with were always just like not the best, and I've been through a lot of stuff. Like I said before, like there's some stuff that like I don't think, like obviously we can't get into every single little detail of that, and it's I hope I've been able to like paint a good picture here, but like just a lot that like I feel like adults won't ever have to go through, and like I'm happy for them, but I think with me just like sports and softball specifically has been my like anchor in life, and it's made me the person I am because it made me better. It made me want to be better, and it was a tool, I guess you could say, to like get me into college and get me into like coaching and all that good stuff. But like at the end of the day, like it's my life, and like I would not have it any other way. And there's been times where it's like, okay, like you have an unhealthy obsession with softball, but it's like, all right, I'd rather have that than an unhealthy obsession with like alcohol and stuff like that. So it's just always inspired me to be better. And I think going through like my story of like my head stuff too, like it's just like my whole life it's felt like nothing is ever ending, and it's like every day it's something else, and it's like all odds are against me, but I've thrived under that, and I'm happy and proud of like the progress I've made and where I am today. And I think everything happens for a reason, and being an athlete really has made me a strong person, has made me just like softball in general has just made me love my life and made me appreciate all that I have in life, because it's given me so much. And a lot of the things I've done, like traveling all over the place and seeing cool places, and like being able to have the opportunities I've had, mainly because of Craig and Mike, but like also like your family has been a big impact of my life, and like all of that was kind of brought to me through softball, and like the relationships I have through softball, and just like everything I've gotten in life has mainly been because of softball and like what it's taught me, and I hope that I'm able to help the younger generations like just have that same love of the game, but also like just mirror life with it of like appreciating the little things, and taking it day by day, like all the Craig catchphrases over here. But yeah.
And finally, 3 words to describe what every everyday athlete needs in 2025. Not prepared at all.
No.
Did not tell her this was a question. Didn't really say anything. A lot of this is on the fly, don't you worry, but
Yeah.
I need 3 off the cuff.
Name 3 what?
3 words to describe
what you need to have.
what you need to be an everyday athlete in 2025.
Yeah. Strength, grittiness. I don't know what else you would say, like
strength, grittiness. I like gritty. I agree.
Yeah, like, well, I didn't know if that was the correct usage of grittiness.
I mean, don't ask me. I'm not the spelling professor here.
And I think passion.
I love that.
Yeah.
We'll leave that to your guys' discretion. This was the Everyday Athlete Podcast, episode 1. Izzy, thank you so much for being here. And
thanks for having me.
Of course.
Guest. It's an important guest.
I made a grave mistake. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Chris Carr signing out. This was the Everyday Athlete Podcast.